Our Father which art in heaven, as we come before you once again before your throne of grace, we thank you for bringing us through another week. We thank you for the opportunity to keep the Sabbath day holy, an opportunity to forget all these worries and cares of this life and focus on your word and goodness. Help us to truly appreciate the Sabbath and appreciate the experience that we can have on it. Encourage us in the faith and continue to plant principles in our mind that will prepare us for the end. Be with us as we go through the study. Help us to meditate and understand and be the rest of brethren after all their ways. Bring them quickly and safely. In Jesus' name, amen. So, right. So, we were doing a mind for global catastrophe, right? And we have reached the part where we have to have a faith that can endure hunger, weariness, and delay. Now for the entire week, I have been going through hunger, weariness, and delay. And I have been trying to summarize it and generalize it as much as possible. Because if you are to think about all the details as to how the mind works when it comes to hunger, weariness, and delay, hunger will be one study by itself, and weariness and delay will be one study by itself. Right? And I really want to go on to Revelation 13 because if I have a question, I have to get studied as well. Right? So I will read it. So you also choose, we could either go on with the hunger, weariness, and delay, or we can go on to Revelation 13 and we will just get the stack from Sister Linda. I already see the smile on his face. No problem. But just bear in mind, I try to keep it as general as possible. I will leave it to you all to work out your own salvation with your family and see which category or which categories you fall in and you have to deal with and work out the details, right? So hunger, weariness, and delay. So, Mrs. White said in Great Controversy, page 621, that we have to have a faith that can endure hunger, weariness, and delay, right? So she said, the season of distress and anguish before us will require a faith that can endure weariness, delay, and hunger. And she's speaking about the time of trouble, as Brother Samuel just mentioned, right? So during the time of trouble, we have to have a particular development in the faith where we can endure hunger, weariness, and delay. Right? She says a faith that would not fail though severely tried. Right? So our faith is going to be severely tried. We will be tried on hunger because with the mark of the beast you can't buy and sell it. So, and you know Mrs. White talked about coming to the end, living in the countryside would be a little more better. Or find somewhere to grow your own food. There are so much of ideas these days. But we would be lacking food, right? So we are told that we are going to be severely tried on these points, on hunger, on weariness, and delay. And oh, how much of us give up the faith on the small testing in these categories. Right? So, hunger. So we know that there's the physical hunger, right, where your body biologically has the craving when you lack food, right? And also there is mental appetite. Whether it's mental appetite for wrong things or mental appetite for the right thing, right? So, hunger. A feeling of discomfort, this is the physical part. A feeling of discomfort or weakness caused by a lack of food coupled with the desire to eat. Right? That's basically what hunger is. A feeling of discomfort, or weakness caused by a lack of food coupled with the desire to eat. Right? That's basically what the biological feeling of hunger is. Right? So, some people, when they experience this feeling of discomfort or weakness and they have the desire to eat, it's like they can't function properly. Right? And fear goes out of the mind. And their hunger pangs is not kept under subjection to painful rationalization, right? So the mental hunger is having a strong desire or craving for, other words are desire, crave, yearn for, appetite for, lust or want. Right? So when it comes to the mind, some people have, a lot of people have, whether it is a mental appetite for either values or a mental appetite for the truth. Right? And both are influenced by our knowledge. Right? The mental appetite that doesn't happen on its own, right? All mental appetite is influenced by some kind of knowledge. So if a person has the appetite for wrong things, there is a particular knowledge or logic in the mind that created that appetite, right? So if you have an ideal value for something that you know is wrong, then to deal with it, which is to work out your salvation, ask God to show you what is the knowledge, what is the logic in your mind that you hold to make you have that appetite for the wrong thing.
Sashi, give an example.
Right?
Give an example of practical.
Let's say, like drinking alcohol, right? Drinking alcohol. Now, a lot of people, some people are not alcoholics, but they want to drink alcohol. Because in their mind, the knowledge is, doing this, I'm doing this for entertainment, right? I'm doing this maybe to get a little tipsy. And some people, when they get tipsy, they lose their judgment, so they can easily do certain wrongs without much conviction, right? So some people, the logic is, I'm doing this for fun, I'm doing this for entertainment, right? So it is that knowledge in the mind that will always have the person, every Friday they're looking to go and drink, right? Because they exalt that experience there as something that is fun, right? Something that is recreational.
Sashi, I just want to add a little part before you go, right? Or like as you rightly said, they're doing it for fun or for entertainment, or they're doing it for acceptance. They're hanging out with friends and they want to be accepted, so they partake of it to get acceptance from the friends.
That is it, right? So people do it for a lot of different reasons. Some people that actually say, well, they're drinking because when they're drunk, they don't study nothing. Right? So all the worries go away. So some of them hold that logic as well. When they drink, they get drunk, all the worries go away for that period of time. But if they take the truth, allow the truth to motivate the mind, you will see that the worries doesn't go. Right? When all that drunkenness wears off, the worries are still there, the problems are still there, and the problems are still there. So, take the truth, work out the knowledge that you hold. The knowledge that you hold that this thing is fun, this thing is recreation, this thing makes me accepted by friends. Friends who don't really care about you. And people do see signs that the friends don't care about them. Right? They do see those signs. And work it out and see, well, the drunkenness that I feel is really the ethanol in the alcohol that is killing the brain cells. So I'm actually killing my brain cells. Right? And if you're drinking to make the worries go away, but you're actually killing your brain cells, making it harder for your mind to actually do something about the problems when it's over. Right? You're stopping your mind or damaging the mind from being healthy enough to actually work out the problems and actually do something about it when you are sober. So you are not making the worries go away, you are actually creating a problem, adding to the problem, right? So that's just one of many examples. And brethren, feel free to give your contribution, give your examples, give your scriptures, and so on, right? But sometimes I feel like I just don't want to talk. Right, brethren?
Amen.
So
could I just give a little thing before you go?
No problem.
Okay, so we are looking at the example of everybody hear me, right, brethren? Everybody hear me, right? Alright, so everybody hear me now? Alright, so we're just looking at a practical example as we looked at the alcohol and the working out of your salvation as it relates to that. Now we know the faith, in the faith contains the righteousness of God, which is God himself. Now if you look at 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31, 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 31, okay, so it tells us in verse 31, it says, whether therefore you eat or drink or whatsoever you do all to the glory of God. So certainly when a person is drinking alcohol in any measure, that certainly is not glorifying God. So when you drink that, as the sister rightly identified, what it do, it damages the oxygen in your brain cells that give it that type of tipsiness or impair your judgment, that you can't make proper judgment. So this is why God will warn and he will say, wine is a mocker and strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. So anytime you think about drinking it, you're already operating from a level of deception. Because if that was not the case, then that scripture will not be there. You see, so the Bible is showing us when you do that, you're operating from a level of deception. Now there's another scripture, but I can't remember exactly where it is, where it says, at thy right hand is pleasure forevermore. Anybody remember where that scripture is? Psalms. Could I just find it, please? I was looking, I can't remember exactly where it is. Psalm 68? Psalm 1:6? Right, Psalms 1:6 and verse 11. Thank you, brother. It tells us, thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is the fullness of joy. So that idea they have of having joy with a friend and so on is in the presence of God, is the fullness of joy. Then it says, at thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. So you see, your joy and the pleasure you get is not by drinking alcohol, but it's by being in the presence of God, having the truth of God in your heart, and that gives you joy. And then you could connect it to many other things in your mind. So the Bible says, what? Happy are they that keep the law. When you're killing yourself by drinking alcohol, you're not keeping the law of God. You see, so you have connected truths in your mind. But I want to say one more point here. Turn to Isaiah 41 and verse 10. Isaiah chapter 41 and verse 10. In Isaiah chapter 41 and verse 10, comparing with what was just read in Psalms 16 and verse 11, highlighting this part, it says, at thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. Let's see, what is this pleasure really and truly? Verse 10 says, fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. So it is the righteousness of God that really gives a person pleasure. It gives you happiness, it gives you joy to know that you are not deceived by people who say they are your friends and seeking to encourage you in drinking and smoking and all these things. Really and truly, they destroy you. They are not your friend. But the Bible says, a friend loveth at all times. Except a man be born of God, he cannot love, because God is love. So you have truth after truth in your mind to dismantle all them different deceptions that the devil is trying to use to destroy you. So we thank God for the truth. And when what is nice about the faith, it is practical. You have to work out your salvation. You have to see what is happening with you and what you need to do, so that you will not find yourself being ensnared by the traps of the devil. So that was just a practical illustration. Right?
Right? So, moving on, right? Amen, Brother Cameron.
Amen.
So, uncontrolled appetite, I'm speaking here about physical appetite, the biological physical body. Uncontrolled appetite benumbs moral sensibility. Uncontrolled appetite benumbs moral sensibility, meaning things that are wrong, it doesn't appear as sinful, right? Well, to you. It excites the nervous system. It makes it hard for the person to think clearly and calmly. The mind is unbalanced. Such persons train themselves to think upon feelings and make decisions based on emotional whims and fancies, and not by principle and duty motivated by faith. I'll read it again, right? Uncontrolled appetite benumbs moral sensibility. It excites the nervous system, making it hard for the person to think clearly and calmly. The mind is unbalanced. Such persons train themselves to think upon feelings and make decisions based on emotional whims and fancies, and not by principle and duty motivated by faith. So in essence it is saying, and I remember reading somewhere one of Sister White's writings, she was showing how people accustom themselves to food that are highly seasoned. Just for example, right? Food that are highly seasoned. And because they are so accustomed with this highly seasoned food or all the big fancy food, and it's like, even a simple plate is not appreciated. It's like they just can't do without the fancy food. She was showing that the appetite for the high seasoning and the fancy food, it excites your nervous system. It excites your nervous system, so you're always looking to get that kind of excitement every time you go into the food. And if you don't get that kind of taste and that kind of excitement there with the nice food, it's like you wouldn't appreciate the symbolism. Right? So it's more than just, well, I'm hungry and I'm feeling to eat this. No. It also affects the mind. Right? So then you will find a person always like an excitement. And if something is not exciting, you will have interest in it, like the Bible study, or studying the Bible. Right? And that person trains themselves to live by feeling, because they feel to eat this, or they feel for this particular taste that they are accustomed to. They reject what the state tells them to eat, and they eat the unhealthy food, right?
Yes. Just last week I was actually reading in my character and personality, where that very statement that you made here, that Sister White made, and she said what we do not understand, it actually interferes with even the way in which, or the depth in which we're supposed to study. She said because what we fail to realize, we make the brain become feverish. Alright, like the high season foods, you know, the amount that we may eat, the mixing of the food sometimes accordingly, failing to realize that these things, it takes away from the solemnity, from the depth, and from the consciousness that we ought to have in respect to spiritual things. I also saw a portion of it, what she said in my character and personality is also in Ministry of Healing. I just can't remember the exact page, but I think it is under the heading of appetite or something so, you know, we can always go and look it up and we'll get the whole portion. But what you are saying there is so very important, because the text that Brother Cameron quoted a while ago, which all of us know it so well, in 1 Corinthians 10:31. Because those are one of the texts that she actually quoted, is that whatsoever that we do, if it is not, because we know the Bible said what is not of faith is sin. But in eating, in drinking, in speaking, in our deportment, in our dress code, everything must be to what? To the glory of God. So it will mean to say that as Christians, everything that we take up to say that we are about to do, be it in our monies that God gave us, you know, the time that we take, God, she said, we are going to have to answer for everything. But more so when it comes to appetite, it is the very means which Satan used in the beginning to cause Eve to fall. And it will be the very means he's going to use at the end to cause many so-called professed Christians to fall likewise. So, you know, that what you're bringing there, it is so timely and pertinent for us to really take up this answer.
Amen.
We have to careful of having balanced diet, and it will be correct things that you will be able to tell them because I am personally and is now learning that when your nervous system is impaired by not keeping balance and not having correct supplementation, it does affect your focus, it does affect your mind. It creates anxiety in unnecessary cases when you have chemical imbalances in your body. So it is very, very important where once you have the balance in the cases in there, you can concentrate in the situation. Because the chemical imbalances in your body, not even the body, and also not having correct supplementation. So it is very, very important. I have no need. So I am myself doctor. And sometimes I might say that we are in the right hand, right hand, right hand, and you have to have the correct balance.
Yeah, amen.
But to function properly, so when you in here, they go to bed, they don't get the rest, your body don't get check on recovery if it is needed for the next day. So you sleep through the night, but the next day you're not tired, you're fatigued, cause of imbalance within God. Very important. Very important.
Sister White has a whole chapter where she deals with diet and spirituality. Very important. Yes. That's something.
Right? The importance of the nervous system, right? The nervous system is all the electrical impulses that passes from brain to whatever area in the body, organ or whatever. And that's like a transport system. So when the transport system goes wrong, it's like when you're going to work. Something happens and mitigate or wherever, and you can see down. You can't get the destination. Look at what happened with the flood and so forth. A lot of people will come out from those to their homes and so on, right? So imagine that situation, but when you want to know, because you do not eat right. What's supposed to go here, supposed to have a particular function, they have a block connection, obstruction in connection, or they don't have enough power to be able to get to where you need to go. And as a result, it affects the mechanical affects the total when that is controlled. So the nervous system is so important because when the nervous system, there is central nervous system where you have the brain and the spinal cord. Anything that goes wrong there in the brain is the center, as we know, for the half of the body. And if the pain happens, it's in your mind, right? And as a result, when you're putting things in your body, or the lack thereof, and where the family thing gets moved, cause an obstruction in the chemical balance of the body. That's why it's important that while we have results, we must ensure that we have a balanced diet where that is concerned, and ensure that we get all the right supplementation where there is a lack thereof in the food that is necessary. Because if all vitamins go together in harmony, so where there is the absence of one, another one will fall as a result of that, like a whole domino effect. And if you have too much of one, it can also cause the depletion of the other as well. So all of that has to be balanced where these things are happening. And it's important, as Mr. White said, that every single person they need to become a medical issue. Because we need to know about our body, especially as women as well. We need to know a lot about our body because our body can temple us.
Amen.
So Romans chapter 8, Romans chapter 8.
What is the first thing? So I am listeners who have that. I know we are not talking about food, so we are talking about a balance diet, right? I am learning that your salad is supposed to be more than your supply of rice and beans. You're really supposed to have eat your salad first, and of course, put in the colon in order to help you to be able to receive the meat that is coming. So the salad should be first. It should be a nice portion, sufficient, so that they don't yum out on rice and beans. The salad first. So you're supposed to know the portions you're supposed to have as well in order to help what like the rate of food. Yeah?
Right, so Romans chapter 8, verse 5, 7, and 8. Romans chapter 8, verse 5, 7, and 8. It says, For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. And the word there is to think, right? So they that are after the flesh do think the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. Right? Verse 7 and 8. Verse 7 it says, Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please God. Now this also shows in verse 5, it shows those who are in the flesh, that is the old man, they think the things of the flesh. Right? So what happens with people is that they think upon things that please the flesh, or they think you know, exciting feeling in the flesh, right? And such a mind, verse 7 and 8, so such a mind that thinks upon pleasing the flesh, that mind or that way of thinking is not subjected to God. It is against God. It is enmity with God. It is not subjected to keeping the law of God. Right? So when the faith comes to us, when the truth comes to us about diet, right? We must always allow the truth to keep our minds in subjection to the laws of health and diet, right? To the healthy food. So, right, so Philippians chapter 3 and verse 19. Philippians 3:19. 18 and 19, right? Philippians chapter 3, verse 18 and 19. It says, for many walk of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are enemies of the cross of Christ. So here we are being told of people who have rejected the truth. They are not enemies to the truth of Christ. They are enemies to Christ. They are enemies to the doctrines of Christ. But he further goes on to explain this type of people, right? Verse 19, it says, whose end is destruction, whose wall is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who mind or who think earthly things. So think about what it would mean for Paul here to describe some people as their belly is their God. Their God is their belly. These are people who had uncontrolled appetite. Uncontrolled appetite eventually leads to lack of restraint. Now I have plenty of quotations here, but Sister White explained the problem with, well, one of the root problems with Sodom and Gomorrah, one of their problems is the lack of restraint. No controlling appetite whatsoever. And that is what led to their degradation. Right? She also described the children of Israel. Let me just read us one piece about the children of Israel. She says, this is from Christian Temperance and Bible Hygiene, page 43 and 44, and also from Counsels on Health, page 111 and 112. She says, the topic is Israel's lust for flesh. Now remember the children of Israel, they were complaining to Moses, they want flesh to eat. Here's Sister White's take on it. She says, when the God of Israel brought his people out of Egypt, he withheld flesh meat from them in a great measure, but gave them bread from heaven. So he take away the thing that excites the nervous system, and he gave them something simple to eat for the appetite, right? For the appetite for the flesh. He says, but gave them bread from heaven and water from the flinty rock. With this they were not satisfied. So when you're accustomed to the highly tasting food, right, and your appetite is not controlled, you would not be satisfied with the simple food, right? He says, they loaded the food given them and wished themselves back in Egypt, where they could sit by the flesh pot. So here, listen to this part. They preferred to endure slavery and even death rather than be deprived of flesh. God granted their desire, giving them flesh, and leaving them to eat till like gluttony produced a plague from which many of them died. And this is the result of uncontrolled appetite, lack of restraint, right? The getting the nervous system all excited about all the fancy foods and the highly seasoned foods and all these things, right? And things that you know you're not supposed to be eating, right? So members? That's not right, right? Enough about Esau, sorry. And she showed that Esau loving the taste of a particular type of dish, like the red lentil. He had a love, a real appetite for that particular dish. I could even that person cannot appreciate things of eternal life. It made him not appreciate, he could not appreciate his own goods, right? That was so sacred. Right? So I read, this is taken from Testimony Preachers 2, page 38. Page 38, right? It says, Esau had a special, strong desire for a particular article of food. He had so long gratified self that he did not feel the necessity of turning from the tempting, coveted dish. So from this you could get, this is a speech, right? From this you could get that when you have that uncontrolled appetite, that appetite is not disciplined or subjected to the faith. When temptation to eat certain things are presented to you, you wouldn't feel that urgency or that duty to reject the temptation. You would just eat what you want. Or eat whatever it is, right? He says, he thought upon it, so this is what has happened. He thought upon it, making no special effort to restrain his appetite. So that is what people do. They think about some kind of fancy dish that they like. They think upon it. That is what happens in your mind. So if this is the vegan food here presented that you know you're supposed to be eating, this is the unhealthy food that you know you're not supposed to be eating, it is not healthy. You think upon it. And you think about it, and you think about it, and then you think about how it tastes. You think about how it tastes, and all the memories just come up in your mouth start to water. And then when all the feelings and all the appetite now open for this thing now, you wouldn't appreciate the veganism. And you reject faithful rationalization. You reject that, and you easily give in to eating the unhealthy. I want you to do that, you weaken your mind now. So every time you temptation comes to eat the unhealthy food, you just keep moving on, you say that's not a problem anymore. You train your mind to fight against conviction. Right? He says he thought upon it, making no special effort to restrain his appetite, until the power of appetite bore down on every other consideration and controlled him. And he imagined, look at what went through his mind. And he imagined that he would suffer great inconvenience, even death. Oh God, I would die if I don't get this red lentil. If he could not have that particular dish. The more he thought upon it, the more his desire strengthened, until his birthright, which was sacred, lost its value and integrity. Brethren, the giving in to the uncontrolled appetite, it makes you lost value for things that have value, the spiritual. Right? So this is just some examples, children of Israel and Esau.
So according to the apocalypse, God was belly at that time. I said with Esau, God was belly.
Yes, so God was belly at that time.
Consider the season food, right? Like some people will use pepper. They can't eat without pepper, right? So it's like that is like one of the ingredients or the seasoning for the food that they can use to damage the liver also. right? And you can have the appetite and things so
Even if you use the healthy portion one, it will not bring damage to yourself.
okay.
That was my thought also. Sorry.
And just adding to, somebody could be watching this study and think that seasoned food is not the best thing. In the sense of, I know some people, they just boil the food and eat it.
Yeah.
So they have a measure of extremism when it comes to things, right? So, you're not saying just boil your food and eat it, right? But for whoever is looking on, nothing is wrong in seasoning your food for you to have a proper taste for it to be healthy and good with the fatty healthy, right?
Alright. So, such appetites are created by a knowledge, like I said before, right?
When a knowledge is presented and it convinces and satisfies the reasoning, then the appetite to act is created and so compels the person to do the action, right? Therefore, our appetites are based on whatever knowledge that our minds feed on, right? So this could apply to mental appetites as well. Whatever knowledge your mind feeds on, it is a knowledge that creates a certain mental appetite for certain things, right? If you have an appetite to do certain wrong things, there's a knowledge in your mind influencing that, and you always have to check that, right? Hosea chapter 13 and verse 6. And someone can read this, please. Hosea chapter 13 and verse 6.
I was just saying, Sister Ashley, what you say is so correct because you have the devil putting on knowledge in Eve's mind. And the Bible says she saw the fruit and she had a desire, which is a mental appetite. She began to interpret it as something good based upon the knowledge she put in her mind.
It says, according to their pastor, so were they filled. They were filled with their hearts. They were filled and their heart was exalted. Therefore have they forgotten me.
Right, brethren, so it shows according to their pasture, so were they filled. And what a pasture is where sheep goes to graze and they eat, right? So it's according to what you feed on. That is what you will be filled with, right? It says, and they were filled and their heart was exalted. So when you feed on wrong knowledge, your mind becomes exalted, or idols are exalted in your mind. And it says, therefore they have forgotten me, Yahweh. So when whatever knowledge that you feed on, whatever wrong knowledge you feed on, it exalts wrong or idol values in the mind and causes you to forget God. Right? Let's look at Psalm chapter 40 and verse 8. The flip side to it, Psalms 48. Someone else can read it.
Psalm chapter 40 and verse
408.
I delight to do thy will, O my God, yea, thy law is within my heart.
So here David is showing that he delights to do the will of God, and we know as the text shows the will of God is the law of God in his heart. But here he is identifying that he delights to do it. So there's a certain appetite in the mind to do the right thing. Right? And it shows it is only the law of God in your mind and the truth of Christ in your mind that can create the appetite to do the right thing. Right? The Bible says the natural man understandeth not the things of God. Right? So the natural man would not seek after God. It is God who has to put the truth in his mind to create that appetite. Right? I'll have to read out some of these texts, right, brethren? So I have a quote here from someone by the name of Myron Medina. In the booklet, How to Overcome Sin by Dealing with Human Nature. Right? Now, brethren, you see that book, How to Overcome Sin by Dealing with Human Nature, by dealing with the infirmities, the appetite, the actions, the will, the appetite to act, the higher powers, the lower powers, keeping it in subjection. You need to get this book. Even if you have gone it over, go it over again. This book is so helpful to overcome and prepare us for the end. The things that you still have to deal with, get this book. There's another chapter called The Struggle with Habits. The Struggle with Habits. Get that one as well, right, brethren? Yes, and the Principles of Discipline. So, how to overcome sin by dealing with human nature, the struggle with habits, and principles of discipline. Right? These booklets have details as how to deal with yourself. Right? There it is. So, how to overcome sin by dealing with human nature, point 12, page 7. He says, in the proper functioning of human nature, whatever ideal satisfies the reasoning as it has been morally sifted by the conscience, the will or appetite to act is thus influenced or weakened towards the ideal. Then as a person exercises choice or mentally accepts the ideal as his value, or the passions or appetites begin to flow for that ideal. All that is left now is to choose to do or to act after the ideal in whatever way necessary. This in a nutshell is how human nature properly goes. Right? So in essence we say how human nature works. Whatever ideal satisfies you reasonably. So there's a knowledge that will come to you. And if it satisfies your reasoning, your conscience will come into play. You will get conviction, well, no, this is right or this is wrong. Right? And when you accept that knowledge, the knowledge represents something. When you accept it as ideal, okay, I want to follow this. You will now have the appetite to act it out. Right? You will now have the appetite to act it out, right? And then you will exercise choice and choose to do whatever action is necessary. Right, brethren? Right. So let me just read. I'll read something more on hunger from Sister White again, right? She says, this is taken from Testimonies for the Church, Volume 4. Testimonies for the Church, Volume 4. She says, and she's speaking about the temptation of Christ, right? In the wilderness of temptation, Christ met the great leading temptations that would assail man. There he encountered single-handedly the wily, subtle foe and overcame him. The first great temptation was upon appetite. The second was presumption. The third was love for the world. Listen to this part. She says, through the gratification of taste, this is what I was saying earlier. Through the gratification of taste, the nervous system becomes excited and the brain power enfeebled, making it impossible to think calmly and rationally. The mind is unbalanced. Its higher, nobler faculties are perverted to serve animal lust. The sacred, eternal interests are not regarded. When this object is gained, your mind to become such where you are not thinking clearly, calmly, rationally, and you are not working out things the way you're supposed to work it out. Your mind is not functioning the way it should. Satan now has access. He could come with the other two temptations, presumption and love for the world. Right? And these are ways that Satan gets man to fall. Right? So, to endure hunger is to have control over your appetite. Once a person has their appetite in subjection to faithful rationalization, meaning you reason with the faith, you allow the faith to motivate the way you reason. What says, come now, let us reason together. Get us here, Yahweh. Though your sins shall be scarlet, they shall be white as snow. Right? So, God is calling us to allow our reasoning to be motivated by faith. Right? So, to endure hunger is to have control over your appetite. Once a person has their appetite in subjection to faithful rationalization, they will thus have the discipline to face the end. Right? Let's look at Proverbs chapter 23, 1 and 2. Proverbs 23, 1 and 2. Can someone read this, please? Proverbs 23, 1 and 2.
Everyone has it? Brethren, everyone has it?
Yes, go ahead.
Proverbs 21, you said?
23, 1 and 2.
Yes, I have it. 23, 1 and 2 says, when thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee, and put a knife to thy throat, if thou be a man given to appetite.
Right? So we are told when certain foods are placed before us, we are told to consider diligently what is before us. Right? Some people, they just see the nice food, they mouth have water and just eat. But we are told to consider diligently what is before us. Right? So it means you have to work it out in your mind. Right? Yes, go into Daniel, right? It says, and put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given to appetite. Now, we obviously we're not going to put a physical knife to the throat, right? But we are being told to cut the appetite. And the appetite will only cut when you stop and consider and you use faithful rationalization, you work it out. Right? In working it out, that will cut the appetite, because remember, it's our knowledge that influences the appetite. Right, brethren?
Yeah.
Right. Look at Proverbs chapter 25, verse 28. Proverbs 25, 28. Someone else can read that. Please.
Present Sabbath. It says, he that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls.
Amen. So someone who doesn't have rule over his spirit or over his own experience, we are told that person is like a city broken down without walls. What's wrong with a city that has no walls? Broken down with no walls.
No defense mechanism. The enemy will come in and
right. No defense at all. The enemy can come in whenever he wants. Right? So we are being told that if we do not have control over our experience, in this case our appetite, then we are left without defense. Right? We are not able to defend ourselves right? Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 32. Proverbs 16:32. And the person who chooses to read this will also explain. Right? So, Proverbs 16:32.
He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. So it's saying here, greater than a ruler is a man that can actually control his anger. Everybody hearing? Sorry, my apologies, right? The scripture says, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. So, whosoever is slow to anger is greater than a lot of mighty men, or greater than all mighty men. And a man that can control his spirit, or control the way his experience flows, is better than a man that can conquer entire city. Amen.
Amen. Right? So, it is natural to have biological cravings in the body. We are not saying that every time you feel hungry, you are insensitive, right? It is natural to have biological cravings for food, for the survival and sustenance of the body, right? However, we must not border on unrestrained indulgence. We must not border on unrestrained indulgence of appetites, to the point where we reject good principles and defile our bodies. Right? So it is natural to have the biological feeling of hunger or thirst. Right? Yes. So, however, we must not border on unrestrained indulgence of appetite to the point where we reject good principles and defile our bodies. Daniel 1:8. Find Daniel 1:8 by the time. Read it and explain. Daniel chapter 1 and verse 8.
Daniel 1:8, it says, but Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore, he requested of the prince of the eunuch that he might not defile himself. So we know that Daniel went into Babylon and these different things, and he was one of the young men who were chosen to eat from the king's table, right? But Daniel, because of the knowledge that he had before, being a Jew and being faithful to God, he purposed in his heart, or he made up his mind that he is not going to defile himself with what they would eat in Babylon. Because if you do your research, they would eat some awful things in Babylon, right? So he made up his mind, and I'm sure part of that purpose and he had was to think about that could have cost him his life. Because in denying the request of the king, and in that particular time, it would have cost him his life. But we knew that he had favor of God, right? So he purposed in his heart, right? He made up his mind that he will keep himself, right? Even where eating is concerned. And he made a request, humbly I'm sure, that he would not defile himself, in explaining his position by faith. And we know, if we go on in the story, that it was granted. And it's a lesson for us, because we might be in a location, we might be somewhere, and they don't have nothing around to eat but the horrible thing. And we have a duty to purpose in our mind, based upon the faith that we have, because we know our faith. When we come to the faith, we are called to a higher standard. The faith that we have, we know it is not good to eat whatever it is, And therefore, we too must purpose in our heart that I am not going to partake in this or that. And trusting that eventually you wouldn't stay in the position forever. You would come out, especially even in our time. No one here didn't eat for the week, unless all was fasting or something. Right? So, you can purpose in your heart in that circumstance, I'm not going to eat this, I'm going to wait. And while you're waiting, you're going to abide. Because some of us, when we get hungry, we just kind of go in a different direction that is not faithful, right? So we're going to abide, and when you come out of the situation, God provides something very good for you to eat, and you will have overcome and gain that small victory.
And also, remember, the end of the story when Daniel and them ate their water and pulse, they end up taking away the meat from those who eat meat and give them pulse to eat. Because at the end of the day, Daniel, they were more fairer in their countenance and they were more wise. And verse 17 shows God gave them knowledge and skill in all learning and wisdom. Right? So they were more mentally fit to be able to understand things, to be able to rationalize it, to be able to learn things better than those who are eating meat. And we know in scientific studies, they show that people who have a vegan diet, their mind function better and they learn faster and better as opposed to people on a meat diet, right, brethren? But it shows that Daniel purposed in his heart. So he made it a duty. See, some of us have to give ourselves, not give ourselves. Allow the faith to motivate a sense of duty. You see, if you see it as this is your duty, this is something that you are called to do, or have some kind of purpose, ask God to help you find your purpose. You see, if you have purpose in what you're doing, you will not easily fall to the wrong. You will easily give in to the appetite. Right? So Daniel had a purpose. The purpose in his heart, not to defile himself and to eat the proper food, right?
I just want something real quick, right? Now, upon coming to the faith and learning that you have to give up certain things, right? And starting to eat the vegan diet, being, exposed to things that you wasn't exposed to before, the type of cheese that we have and different things like that. Because of the knowledge in your mind previously, from my perspective, when I didn't know how come, nothing wasn't tasting nice. Nothing wasn't lovely, right? I had peas, I didn't like nothing. I had a rice and peas guy, I didn't like nothing. Rice and peas wasn't. And what I learned, right, after studying the faith, understanding why I must do this particular type of diet, and retrained my taste buds, because that is what's taking place when you switch diet. You have to retrain your taste buds. You then start to enjoy your vegan diet. You're exposed to it, and you start to realize that not only is it healthier for you, but it is just a better way of existing as far as food is concerned, right? So I just want to show how the knowledge is already a mind that causes you to reason and think in a certain way that make you think that you need chicken and you need this and you need that and you need things that are killing you. You don't need it. Because as the sister shown, Daniel ate the pulp and they were much healthier than those who were partaking in everything they claim we need to partake in order for us to be healthy, right? So what you have to do in order for your vegan diet to be good for you and for you to love it is to study your Bible. Study the Bible, and I say study the scriptures. That will change the thoughts in your mind, and therefore you'll appreciate the diet that God originally gave to man in the first place. Because everything you eat, you have to season it. And seasoning is not meat. It is vegetables. It is herbs. Therefore, what you're really enjoying is your herbs. So just take away your flesh and put your herbs on something that is good, and you will enjoy it the same way. Because nobody here will eat boiled chicken without anything on it. That is madness. You wouldn't do that. So just Study your scriptures, and as you study and you get appetite to study, you'll get appetite to eat the right things by the grace of God.
And also we can learn from the children of Israel. The children of Israel, when they were going through the wilderness, when they came out of Egypt, and God gave them the manna to eat. When they came out of Egypt, God immediately cut them off from eating meat. So it means that, okay, yes, a lot of us, 99.9% of us were meat eaters, right? But it shows, yes, you would have that craving for the meat, you would remember the taste, you would remember everything, and you would have that craving. Well, some of us, especially those who now come, I hope those who get a long time don't have a problem. The appetite is supposed to be trained by now, right? So, over some time, your appetite has to be retrained. I want to, if you're compromising in between, the appetite for the wrong thing would stay. But if you allow your appetite to be retrained, you would lose the craving for meat or for all the unhealthy things, the chocolate and you name it, right? We know the rules of our health before. So once you train, your appetite has to be retrained. At the children of Israel, they were given manna, something kind of oily that would cut the appetite for the meat. So your appetite has to be retrained. And once the appetite is retrained without the compromising now and then, you wouldn't even have the craving for the unhealthy things anymore, right? That's all right. Yeah, Brother Kwame, Brother Troy, and Brother Cameron.
That's what the quote our text here, then we can show what, right? James chapter 4 verse 17, right?
Hello, brother.
James chapter 4 verse 17. Right? And it says this here. Based upon what Sister Asha was saying here, it says, therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. So, you come to the faith, you learn the principles of health, and you know what is the right thing or the good thing to do, or to partake in, and you do it not, it is transgression in the eyes of God. Right? But also, what one must consider is that whenever you put in unhealthy things in your body to gratify taste, there is a penalty to pay for that. If you continue, eventually you will be damaging nature. You will be damaging the system, and you yourself will be in regrets when nature starts to malfunction. So, but in the initial stages, all you will be seeing is the taste. But if you use the faith, you'll work out to see if I partake in this and I continue, it will lead to me being in and out of the hospital. And I will be weak, I'll have function, I will be comfortable, I will be happy. You understand? So one must not wait. When Virgin give counsels and hear that is being advocated, don't wait till something bad happens to you for you to start to stop. You understand? You know? The counsels come in to benefit you, because when you in and out of the hospital, you will see I should have obeyed. Don't let that be on the same thing.
Don't eat this and don't eat that and don't eat this and don't eat that. So do it when God said to do.
And then so to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. It is transgression, and you're violating the principles of health, and you yourself, if you hide to partake in it, when you're on the hospital bed, that would mean hiding, that would be the open.
Amen. Everybody will know you wasn't still unhealthy. Brother Troy.
Morning, Virgin. You know, it is a one, you know, it adds to our sanctification. But let me just say this to you. When you are a Christian, you have put yourself in a position where you're living your life to please God. Paul makes a statement. You understand that we shouldn't be lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. He makes another statement and says our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. So and we are bought with a price, and we don't belong to ourselves, you know. So So we have to take care of this because God has given this for us to be a steward to take care of this to glorify Him. So I'm saying now, seeing that those things are the case, Paul makes a statement and he says, as a Christian, right? I'm quoting 2 Corinthians chapter 11, he says, he as a Christian who had a ministry, as he says, he had purpose, we should have purpose, and you know what happened? Many times he was weary, he had many pains, he was watching often, he was fasting, he was hungry, he was thirsty, for Christ's sake. So I'm saying, yes, brethren, we have to be practical. Many times we may be out there, and we may not have things that we want to eat. There may not be things that we want to drink, but we have to deny ourselves so that we don't defile God's temple. How many times we are out there and we're hungry? Why just don't buy a banana and eat it, and when you reach home, you get something? Why don't you drink a little water when you reach home, you get something? Aren't we supposed to be people who fasted? When you're fasting, you don't be eating. So why now, when you're going home now, you're tired from work, you're watching other people eating, and they say, "Wash my hungry." Go home. Go home and get something proper. Cook something. Deny yourself. Amen. Deny yourself. And we have enthusiasts here. And we know about self-denial. Brethren, this is, watch me. This too shall pass. We won't be here forever. We want to go and spend eternity with God, but we can't spend a half an hour and look our hungry. What are you going on? We're telling God, Lord, I want to be with you. We want to be with you forever. Spend all the time here. This is temporal. You're not gonna. And I'm saying, even if you suffer, so what? Even if you suffer, so what? You want to suffer that transgressor and be lost? Suffer a little hunger, the poor suffer a little hunger. And you know why you're suffering? You think you couldn't go get something to eat? You couldn't take it. You think you could have stayed inside and you're trying to be eating and drinking like the scribe and the Pharisee? But he was hungry because he was denying himself so he could go and preach the gospel. You understand? How much of us would say, "Hey, we're hungry, let me go home, boy," and some other time and say, "Hey, let me stand up here and talk to this brother because he needs to hear the truth and deny a little hunger." How many of us deny hunger and fast? Look, Jesus said, it has certain things, certain faults we have, and they can only overcome it through fasting and praying. You know why? It's not really fasting doing it, it's that self-denial, getting in the Bible and making sure that you research and get it right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, this doesn't only go for Adi, it go for me. Many times I put things in my body, and they say, but I suffer because you know, I am a living testimony that things I put in my system I should not have done, and it makes me suffer. I know better now. So I'm saying I suffer, so I don't want you all to suffer. Hospital is not a place you want to be, Bridget. Trust me. It's not a place you want to be. It's a place you want to visit the sick. You don't want to be sick to go there. Amen. So I'm saying don't go there because you're sick. Go there because you're visiting the sick. And praying to them and preaching to them. Right, Bridget? Even if you end up there and you have some sickness out there, you're going to preach and people in the name.
Okay, brethren, I just want to go back to the book of Daniel, right? Daniel chapter 1. And I just want to look at verse 10. Daniel chapter 1 and verse 10. And I just want to say that this misconception that is in the world, that many people tell you you have to eat meat and so on if you want to look good and strong and healthy, you have to eat meat. That is a misconception. That is not true. When you look at the example here in the Bible, Daniel chapter 1 and verse 10, it says, "And the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who had appointed your meat and your drink. For why should he see your faces worse liking than the children which are of your sort?" So in other words, the king was thinking, well, if I take away this meat from all you, and this drink from all you, when the king see all you, will be looking horrible. But that is not true, brethren. The Bible testifies of that. Right? They were fat and flourishing, and in addition to that, they were found to be 10 times much more wiser than all the philosophers and astrologers in the courts of Babylon. So let us continue in our dietary practices. Let us continue to be faithful in all things that we do. Okay, brethren?
And people still think that way today.
Yeah, people think so.
If you know, people need to avoid it. My family is still telling me every time. Right, but what happens? Some people, when they come to
And then eventually you'll put it back on. We need healthy fat. But I'm not going to say.
Yes, I'm this brother. Yes, I'm this brother. Yes, that's one brother. Troy one. Where he was talking about hunger and self-sacrifice. Where we are Christians and we have Christian standards of holy. There's one point that Brother Troy got across with hunger and self-sacrifice and denying ourselves during the course of the day or during the course of our experience to deny ourselves different, whatever we may enjoy. One of the things, just to add to what you were saying, is one of the self-sacrifices, a principle in the self-sacrifices, if a person would prepare what they are going to use during the day from whatever time before it is necessary, when it is required. If the person would prepare in portions how much they are going to use, then they will have sufficient for use at that particular time. So the principle is also prepare discipline that which is required for beforehand.
Right? Now just be balanced. Nobody is, let's say if someone is out all day and they're not able to go home one time, some people live far, right? And we see them go and buy the best thing that they could find at the point in time. We are not to watch them and say, you're not enjoying, right? We have to be balanced in our reason, and also different people are at different levels in their development. And also, not because I say that you would take it and say, well, I don't buy something to eat. You could apply what Brother Troy said as well. See how long you can endure the hunger, right? We have to endure hunger, weariness, and heat. So see how long you can endure the hunger, time yourself, pray about it. But we don't want nobody falling on and fainting, right? So we have to be balanced, and God will show you what to do, right, brethren? So we have to wrap up. Let's turn to 2 more scriptures and we wrap up, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 15 and 19. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 15, 19, and 20. Chapter 6, what scripture is it? Verse 15, verse 19, and verse 20. Sister Monique. Yes, it's stand up and read for everybody to hear.
Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Christ?
You're not hearing. Show your voice.
Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Christ? Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them the members of an harlot? God forbid. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own? For ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's.
Amen. Right? So verse 15 we are told, know you not, in light of your eating, know you not that your bodies are the members of Christ? Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them members of our harlot? Would you do that? Right? It says, God forbid. Verse 19 shows Paul is saying what? Know you not that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, which is in you, which you are born and you are not your own. So some people like to say, it's my body. I can eat what I want. I could do what I want. Paul is saying to you what? Know you not that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit which is in you, but it's supposed to be in you, motivating how you think and what you do. And verse 20 says, for you are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit which are bought. So, your body is not your own. Someone made you. Someone provided a plan of salvation for you. He also provided a health reform for you. Amen. So we have to glorify God in our bodies. Last scripture, Matthew chapter 4 and verse 4. Matthew chapter 4 and verse 4. Now remember we just read, recently I read the quotation where Sister White was showing with the temptation of Christ. The first temptation was on appetite, right? And read it in the light of that. Look at the answer that Christ gave when a temptation came to him concerning his appetite. Matthew 4 verse 4, it says, let's read from verse 1, right? Coming on 1 to 4. It says, then Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted, how long?
40 days and 40 nights.
40 days. And recently on Facebook, I saw a pastor try to fast like Jesus and he died. He died. Right? 40 days and 40 nights. So imagine some of us can't go out a half day without eating. So imagine 40 days and 40 nights. And he was afterward what? And hunger. He was really hungry. And look at how much miracles that he did after. He could have turned his soul into bread. He could have made something to eat. Right? But verse 3 it says, and when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. 40 days and 40 nights, he was really hungry. Some of us, brother, we didn't now reach 2 o'clock, 2:30, we're watching the candle. Sometimes you say, can I do one more point? And some brethren say yes, and some brethren we want to go and eat. But we are here, Jesus could have made bread to eat. But verse 4 it says, but he answered and said, it is what? Written. So he allowed his reasoning, faithful rationalization. He allowed his appetite to be motivated by faithful rationalization. He had self-control. Right? He said, it is written what? Man shall not live by what? Bread alone, but what? So here we are being told, man don't live by bread alone. It is God who sustains you. You can eat how much bread you want, or not eat how much bread you want. At the end of the day, who sustains you? God. Right? You can eat all the food in the world. At the end of the day, who sustains you? You know, some people think, well, we have to eat, we have to live and eat. But we are told, man shall not live by bread. It is the word of God that we are to live by. And we are to allow the word of God to motivate faithful rationalization and keep our appetite in subjection to that. Right, brethren?
Present Sabbath. For Luke chapter 11 and verse 1. Before I read it, one of the things that help me to appreciate veganism is if you're going to heaven and planning to go to heaven, you're not going to be killing animals in heaven and putting it on fire and all the sacrificial itself. 11 verse 1. It says, for time's sake, a false balance is an abomination unto Yahweh, but a just weight is his delight. When it comes to as you know, you're trying to balance, showing their spiritual situations which will be custom, where you will have a scenario when you have to partake of something where you cook, you know, and of course it will be a vegan diet. So there are situations where you can deny yourself, I agree, and that is what Christianity calls for. But what I really want to say is really and truly, anytime you partake in any food that is not really not food, in my mind it doesn't call me food. I don't see it as food. So anytime you're taking of it, you're really weakening your resistance. When you indulge, you weaken your resistance. When you do it once, you do it twice, you do it 3 times. Until the conviction comes through the mind and that's one thing you just... So if you keep certain principles in the mind to resist it, it's not food. Your plans look at heaven, they ain't going to kill them no fire day. So they ain't going to have a blue chicken and no wild meat and that kind of nonsense. So really actually, resist it, keep the faith. And you always get strike up good conversation and you will get easy, you know, the sayers and things where I'm a vegan. You eat and you can help somebody, man. Teach them. And for me, like if I don't cook often, but if I do cook, I will bring food to people, you know? They are taste. You know, so they encourage them in the vegan diet.
You know, I understand when I hear like that word. If any family would go by my mother or whoever, and they eating the KFC and you know, that is dead food. And I said, chicken is a dead food they eat. Right? So, you know, in your mind, you can use certain principles to reject it. Right? Yes.
Taste of meat is not what people go after when they eat meat. Something what you take it for the promise. Seasoning and all these sort of things that change the taste. But they say palatable for them.
So it's not the meat, it's the seasoning. Sister Alice, and we're wrapping up my vegetables.
Yes, Sister Ashley, I had up my hand for a while, but it was right here because I was kind of tired. Alright? I have one text and I just have a reading that is very important for all of us, alright? I know it's a while that people already hear my voice like standing up to talk much. That kind of happened a little. But 2 Peter 3 verse 11, I would like to read that, please. 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 11. And you know, I was listening to everybody's contribution by the grace of God, and one of the things that I did not hear is that while it is that we are encouraged from scripture and even from different people's experiences, is that while you eat, you have to look at your time frame in eating also. Because you will be eating vegan food. You will be eating the best of food from your very pot. But if it is that you are eating intemperate when it comes to time, when you look at food and you look at the things that you may partake of, you have a salad, you may have other things with it, and then you want to eat in 2 hours, you're going to damage your body nevertheless. And your body at that time is not going to be holy unto God. No, I am speaking in respect. I'm not talking about you might be diabetic and you may be having small little portions of whatever. And even that and all, you have to be very careful. Your time frame between your meals must give enough time for that food to properly digest, to be removed, and for another meal to come in. So you're talking about within 3-4 hours for some, and for some, according to what they eat, 5 hours. So your time frame for some will be less, but really and truly in order that for that food to really do the work that it ought to, for that mind to stay clear, that you can continue to really get the best of what you are getting in your scriptures, you need your time frame. Alright, some people want to eat, they want to drink, they want to do a whole set of mixtures, and then within 2 hours they want to eat again. So what is going on with that body? That body is under so much stress. And when I say stress, because that's a word that really and truly, but it is under a lot of pressure. Right. Alright, so not stress, but it's under a lot of pressure. So that's one of the things that we need to do. Alright? Apart from that, let me get into this text and say what I have to say quickly from this reading that I want to do in Daniel. So 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 11 say, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Now brethren, when we look around us, everything, the foods, the air, all these things will be dissolved, right? In fact, soon you have the whole world tumbling upside down, and as Brother Medina show us on many different portions of charts and even videos. And the scientists and they are watching to see that something horrible is about to take place. And we are seeing that you will be in Trinidad, and next thing you quite in Alaska, and all these various things. So all these things, together with the foods, together with everything that is happening, all these things will be dissolved. But while we are here, each and every one of us, how are we to be in our behavior? How are we to carry about ourselves at this point in time? In Daniel chapter 1 verse 8 that Sister Ashley had quoted, there is something that Sister White says here that I would like to read for all of us. And it's taken from Youth Instructor, August 18, 1898. And this is what she said. And this is for every last individual that will walk into this church to understand what is this last truth that we are getting, this last portion of grace before everything is dissolved. Hear what it said. An intelligent decision, she said. As Daniel and his fellows were brought to the test, and we know the test was eating meat or taking the pulse and water. She said, as Daniel and his fellows were brought to the test, they placed themselves fully on the side of righteousness and truth. They did not move capriciously, but intelligently, motivated by faithful rationalization. That is what that means, intelligently, right? They decided that as flesh meat had not composed their diet in the past, it should not come into their diet in the future. And as wine had been prohibited to all who should engage in the service of God, they determined that they would not partake of it. The fate of the sons of Aaron had been presented before them, and they knew that the use of wine would confuse their senses, that the indulgence of appetite would becloud their powers of discernment. These particulars were placed on record in the history of the children of Israel as a warning to every youth, and I would say to everyone. I wouldn't say youth alone, because when you look at who really and truly does be indulging themselves out there, it is not the youth alone. In fact, the youth does be influenced by the older ones who are doing it. Alright? To every youth to avoid all customs and practices and indulgences that would in any way dishonor God. Daniel and his companions knew not what would be the result of their decision. They knew not but that it would cost them their lives. But they determined to keep the straight path of strict temperance even when in the courts of licentious Babylon. So brethren, I read that for us to encourage our hearts to see that really and truly, as Sister Ashley said just now, what it is to have some self-control. What it is to hold back for maybe 2 hours or so and eat something that you know will really be right for you. And since we are not people who will be just straight-laced in the sense of, okay, we are not looking to be flexible. As she said, it's gonna have the times where maybe you may eat the best that you have out there. But all in all, we are the people that is looking for Christ coming. And Sister White saying everything, soon we will have to cut off everything that the world has out there for us to partake of. So it will mean to say, an intelligent decision is one that will always be motivated by faithful rationalization coming from the Word of God. Amen. Thank you.
Just to add to what the sister was saying, and she spoke about temperance and knowing how late it and so on. It's just something that I remember as you were speaking. Where you may have to judge each situation different, and each person's body is different. For instance, like a mother who's nursing, she may not be able to swallow every 5 hours before I eat. Where the day she wasn't nursing, she would have been able to have to nurse like half hour. Right? And sometimes I'm supposed to be doing hard labor, physical labor. So you may find they may have to eat every 2 hours or every 2.5 hours. You know? So there's different situations. You don't have to know how to eat, and that's where temperance comes in. Just to add to what you were saying as well.
Alright, amen, brethren. Amen. So we went over our time, so let's close off with a word of prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, once again, and we come before you, thanking you very much for the principles that you are teaching us in preparation for the events that are about to come upon this world. Help us to gain the discipline in allowing our minds to be filled with faithful rationalization and keeping our lower powers in subjection to our higher powers, and help us to also abide in present truth that will prepare us and give us the mindset, the development, and seal us in this closing work of our salvation, so that we could be your trophies during the time of trouble and also to face persecution. So please prepare us as a church, unite us, prepare us, so that we can preach the final gospel and glorify you to be God alone, and also in the best of health. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.